Picture this. Imagine leaving behind everything you've ever known, your home, your family, even your identity, to search for the truth. Over 2,500 years ago, one man did exactly that. Born a prince, he had wealth, power, luxury, and yet he chose to walk away in pursuit of something far greater, a path to understanding, suffering, and how to overcome it. His journey would lead to the creation of one of the world's most influential religions and philosophies, Buddhism. Buddhism began over 2,500 years ago in ancient India with the life of Siddhartha Gautama, the historical figure who will later be known as the Buddha. Siddhartha was born into a noble family, possibly around the 5th or 4th century BCE, in what is now modern-day Nepal. His father, a regional king, ensured that Siddhartha lived in luxury, sheltering him from the realities of human suffering. However, despite his privileged upbringing, Siddhartha remained curious about the world beyond the palace walls. When he was around 29 years old, he encountered what are known as the four sights: an old man, a sick man, a dead body, and a wandering ascetic. These encounters made him realize that suffering was an inevitable part of life, and he began questioning the meaning of existence. Determined to find a solution to human suffering, Siddhartha left behind his royal status and family to live as a wandering ascetic. He studied under various spiritual teachers and practiced extreme self-discipline, including prolonged fasting and meditation. Some accounts say he reduced his food intake to just a single grain of rice per day. However, after years of self-mortification, he concluded that neither indulgence nor extreme asceticism led to true wisdom. This realization became the foundation of what he later called the middle way, a balanced approach to life that avoids both excess and deprivation. Seeking deeper understanding, Siddhartha sat in meditation beneath a Bodhi tree, vowing not to rise until he attained enlightenment. After days of deep meditation, he reached a state of profound insight into the nature of suffering, its causes, and the path to liberation. This moment of awakening marked his transformation into the Buddha, meaning the Enlightened One. Following his enlightenment, the Buddha spent the next 45 years traveling and teaching. His first sermon, delivered in Sarnath at the Deer Park, introduced the core principles of Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths, and the Eightfold Path. These teachings formed the foundation of his philosophy, emphasizing ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. Although Buddhism declined in India over time, it remained influential across Asia and later gained global recognition. Today, it is followed by millions of people worldwide, not only as a religion, but also as a philosophy and a way of life. Its teachings on mindfulness, impermanence, and compassion continue to influence modern thought, psychology, and daily practices.
I'll be addressing the core philosophies and teachings of Buddhism. Buddhism has been around for over 2,000 years, guiding countless people towards inner peace and a better understanding of life. Let's start with the Four Noble Truths. These truths help us understand why we suffer and how we can overcome it. The first truth, dukkha, tells us that life involves suffering. This doesn't just mean physical pain, but also emotional and psychological struggles. We all face challenges, big and small. The second truth, samadaya, explains that our suffering comes from our desires and attachments. We often chase after things we think will make us happy, but end up feeling unfulfilled when we don't get them, or even when we do. The third truth, nirodha, offers hope by teaching us that we can end our suffering by letting go of our desires and attachments. We can find peace. The fourth truth, magga, provides a practical path to achieve this liberation. This path is also known as the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path is a set of guidelines to live a mindful and ethical life. It starts with right understanding, which means seeing things as they really are and understanding the Four Noble Truths. Then we have right intention, which is about committing to personal growth and positive change. Right speech encourages us to speak truthfully and kindly, avoiding gossip and harmful words. Right action guides us to behave ethically, such as not harming others, stealing, or engaging in misconduct. Right livelihood emphasizes earning a living in ways that do not harm others or ourselves. Right effort involves cultivating positive mental states, like kindness and wisdom, and avoiding negative ones, such as anger and jealousy. Right mindfulness teaches us to stay present and aware in every moment, paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Lastly, right concentration involves practicing meditation to develop deep focus and mental clarity. Buddhism also emphasizes the three universal truths. The first is anicca, or impermanence, reminding us that everything is always changing. Nothing remains the same forever, and recognizing this can help us let go of our attachments. The second truth, dukkha, highlighting the inherent challenges and unsatisfactoriness of life. The third truth, anatta, or no self challenges the notion of a permanent, unchanging self. Instead, Buddhism teaches that we are always evolving and our sense of self is fluid and interconnected with everything around us. Another important concept in Buddhism is karma, the law of moral causation. Our actions, whether good or bad, have consequences that shape our future experiences. By living ethically and making positive choices, we create good karma, leading to more favorable outcomes in our lives. Buddhism also believes in the cycle of rebirth, known as samsara. The cycle continues until we achieve nirvana, a state of ultimate peace and liberation from suffering. We're born, live, die, and are reborn, facing various challenges and opportunities to grow spiritually. A key part of Buddhist practice is meditation and mindfulness. Through these practices, we develop concentration, insight, and awareness, leading to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. Meditation helps us calm our minds, reduce stress, and cultivate a sense of inner peace. Buddhism offers a path to inner peace, ethical living, and enlightenment. Its teachings inspire us to live with greater wisdom and compassion. By following the principles of the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the Three Universal Truths, we can live more fulfilling and meaningful lives. In a nutshell, Buddhism teaches us how to navigate the ups and downs of life, find inner peace, and strive for enlightenment. It's a journey of self-discovery and growth, guiding us towards a more compassionate and mindful way of living.
Imagine waking up in the morning, taking a deep breath, and simply appreciating the present moment. This simple act reflects one of the core teachings of Buddhism, mindfulness. But Buddhism isn't just about meditation or temple visits. It's a way of life that influences how we think, act, and interact with the world around us. At its heart, Buddhism teaches us the Four Noble Truths, that life involves suffering, but through understanding and self-awareness, we can find peace. This philosophy can shape how we handle stress, disappointment, or even daily challenges. Take patience, for example. In a fast-paced world, frustration comes easily, whether it's delayed bus or difficult conversation. But Buddhist teachings remind us of impermanence. Everything changes, and no moments of anger or stress last forever. When we accept this, we learn to respond with calmness rather than frustration. Buddhism also emphasizes compassion. The idea of loving kindness encourages us to treat others with empathy, whether it's helping a stranger, forgiving someone, or simply being kind in our words and actions. Small acts of compassion create a ripple effect, making the world a better place. Another practice that shapes daily life is meditation. It's not just about sitting in silence. It's about training the mind to be present. Even a few minutes of deep breathing or mindful walking can bring clarity and reduce stress. Buddhist principles also encourage simplicity, not being overly attached to material things. This doesn't mean giving up everything, but rather being mindful of our desires and understanding that true happiness comes from within, not from what we own. Incorporating Buddhism into everyday life isn't about following rituals. It's about adopting a mindset of peace, awareness, and kindness. Whether it's through mindfulness, compassion, or patience, these teachings can help us navigate life's ups and downs with a greater sense of balance. And in the end of the world, isn't that what we all seek? A life of meaning, connection, and peace.